Obviously, living a life as a pro punter is quite interesting, particularly the sort of life you lead. And you've got some interesting stories along the way. Tell us about the night you went out and you couldn't get home.
Yeah, a couple of years ago now, I was out on a night out, and I tried to get some cash out of a cash point, and couldn't get any cash out. And I tried to get an Uber back, and that declined as well. So I smelled a little bit of a rat. I thought I'd better phone the bank up.
You're a bit worried, weren't you?
I was worried, yeah. I felt like I was a skint member. I felt like I didn't have any money in the world. So I phoned the bank up. The bank says to me, "Oh, someone's going to get in touch with you regarding your account." So I didn't really think too much of it. And I got a letter through the post about a week later. They froze my bank account, so I couldn't get any money out. Luckily, I had a little bit of cash around me to get through the week. They froze all my money in bank account and then sent me a letter saying that I was closing my bank account. NatWest, who I banked with from a student from the age of 18, I banked with them for 20 years. They closed my bank account, and it was all to do with, it must be to do with the money I'd coming in from different quarters, like putter honors, online accounts. You know, nothing illegal about it, but obviously I had money coming from different people.
And that was in relation actually as well directly to, you were trying to swerve the 40% premium that you have to pay with Betfair, and you had money coming in and out there. But tell us what happened when you were trying to avoid the Betfair fees.
Yeah, I had my private banking manager wanted to see me, and he asked me questions. Who are these people? People had sent me, I think someone had sent me 40 grand, someone else sent me 60 grand. So he said, who's so-and-so and who's so-and-so? And I had to explain to him, well, look, I've got a Betfair account. I'm trying to swerve paying 40%, so I'm betting in someone else's account. That was all well and good. That was a good idea in theory, but in practice, Betfair suspended my account and the other account and done me for premium charge evasion and took the 40% out of what I'd won in the second account. So I didn't avoid it anyway. They found a way to still charge me 40%.
I mean, that's unbelievable, isn't it? That they managed to find it, related it to you, and you didn't get away with any of it.
No, I still paid the fine. I think I won about 60 grand in 3 months, but they still deducted my 40%.
How frustrating is that?
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I mean, you get used to taking blows. That's the one great thing about gambling. I think it makes you a better person. You handle adversity a lot better than you would do if you wasn't gambling successfully. You take blows. You have to take blows better.
I'm guessing with the banks, there's something there where they're concerned about, I don't know, something illegal happening or money laundering perhaps, and that does apply to other areas. So you had difficulty buying properties in your life as well. You tried to buy your first property when you were in your mid-20s. What happened?
Well, I remember going and see someone like a mortgage broker or someone and saying, like, any chance of me buying this and getting a mortgage? He said, what do you do? I said, I'm a professional gambler. He says, no chance. You know, the only chance you've got of ever having a property. But he said, we're not going to lend you money, you know, on the off chance that you might win, you might not. We don't know how good you are. We don't know what kind of money you get. So I knew from that point on that effectively I was going to have to buy property outright, which again is a hard deal, but you know, it's life as a gambler. It's something you're going to have to learn to live with.
And you have lived with that. You mentioned in the interview earlier that you very much wanted to be able to give back to the people that have given to you in life, and gambling has allowed you to do that.
Yeah, I bought, you know, properties for my mum's sister and my nan and granddad. That was important to me. So, you know, as I say, without betting on dogs, I wouldn't have been able to do that. You know, I got a degree in history and politics, but I wasn't clever enough to get a job that's going to pay, you know, well enough for me to buy properties outright and not get mortgages and stuff like that.
We should be talking about Brexit then, should we?
No.
What's your biggest win ever? Biggest win
in one day? I think I remember winning about 60 grand in a day once, which was nice. I remember I had 2 different accounts. I had a Bet365 account. I think I won about 34 grand in there, and I had a Paddy Power account, won 12 grand in there, and then with what I won on Betfair and in betting shops and all that, that was a good day. So that's probably my biggest win in a day.
And that was all different bets, not just different accounts?
Yeah, that was different variations of bets. So that would have been, I think that was a lucky 15. I won 12.5 grand from a lucky 15. I think the 30 odd grand come from a lucky 63. I might have had 5 winners out of 6. I was probably unlucky not to get 60 or 70 grand out of the Bet365 bet, something like that. And then singles, I might have been having, hefty single bets as well at decent prices. So it all adds up.
How many accounts do you reckon you've had over the years?
Untold, literally. I literally had untold, yeah.
Four figures?
I've had to put myself out to just get untold accounts. You can never have enough of them. No, there's never a last bet, so you're just constantly on the lookout. And because they don't last as well, unfortunately, the accounts don't last. So you just have to keep getting them, just keep moving on and getting new accounts all the time. You can never meet enough people. You just have to obviously have a bit of trust in the people that you're dealing with.
And it's not just accounts, it's shops as well. You reckon that maybe single-handedly you actually got a Betfred closed down once?
Yeah, I remember once a friend of mine, he'd never put a bet on in his life, and he asked me, he was interested in what I was doing, and I told him I bet on dogs for a living and all that, and he said, I'm not doing anything today. You want me to put a bet on for you? So I gave him a bet. He put a bet on, I think he laid out £250, and the £250 bet come to 30 odd grand, I think. And they paid him out in cash.
He'd never been in a betting shop in his life.
The first bet he ever struck in his life. And a couple of weeks later, that betting shop was closed down. I'm not saying I had anything to do with it, but I didn't help their profits that week, I know that much.
And you do go out a lot and you network trying to get accounts and whatever, and you actually mix with a lot of footballers. We were talking about the difference in the way that footballers bet, and we know that there's a lot of footballers that do gamble. It's a different way of betting to you, but you know guys who are interested in it, but you see it very differently. Yeah,
I mean, most people I know, sporting people, they love gambling. And if you can control it, gambling's a great thing. I mean, you don't get any much more excitement out of gambling than you do, doing other things. So if you can control your gambling, and if you can win, but it's all about, that's why you're better off betting on dogs or something you specialise in, something you've got a chance at. Why would you want to go and bet in a casino or them stupid fruit machines when you've got no chance? If you can study form, have an opinion on dogs, why wouldn't you want to bet on dogs? But even horses. Become a judge.
Do you still get a buzz from it? The thrill of a win?
Yeah, the thrill of a win, absolutely. Because, at the end of the day, I've got to win to get by. So it's everything. Winning is everything. But in terms of, backing a 7 or 8 to 1 winner and being the big I am and saying, oh, I'm a great judge, that's immaterial to me. I don't really care about that. So I'm not trying to show off in front of anyone. I'm just trying to get a living. So the excitement and the buzz and being proved right, secondary. Don't really interest me. When I first started going racing, being respected as a judge was of utmost importance. And then once you get past that, it's not of any importance anymore. Whether people respect your opinion or not, it doesn't matter to me.
Well, Darren, it's been a pleasure. You've got millions of stories. They've been great to hear, and I wish you every success for the future.
Thank you, Julie. Same to you.